All right, welcome guys to Saturday Morning Nerd Talks. My name is James with Zero Day James. I got with me my boys.
Yeah, this is Patrick, InfoSec Pat. I go by that name on all my social media, and here we go with Dion.
Yeah, welcome guys. Dion here from Circle Security, aka at Mindfucker, Instagram.
Cool. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about entry-level certifications, pretty much just how to get into IT. If you're first starting, you want to know different routes to take, different certifications you can earn, or pretty much just what you can learn to start getting started in IT. I think we're going to start with Pat. Maybe you'll give us some examples of where you started. Yeah, what kind of route you took. What was your journey to first start?
Yeah, so if you know a little bit about me, you probably know a little bit about my journey. It might sound redundant, but I started in IT about uh, 18 years ago now, 17 years ago, and started from, from the bottom, doing help desk stuff, doing some entry level. My first job was with Gateway Computers, doing help desk, and I led into, some entry level system engineering, and I got some certifications.
Help desk is like a big one, huh? Everyone says to start with help desk. I've just heard that ring
Yeah,
everywhere.
help desk I think is massive. Like if you do help desk, it'll give you a broad understanding about, setting up a printer, setting up Active Directory stuff, setting up users of computers, resetting passwords, just your basic stuff. Because how can you go? Okay, some people try to go into networking when they don't even understand the fundamentals of computer communication. So I think having that fundamental knowledge is critical if you want to go into database administration, virtualization, cloud, security, systems, networking, etc. But so I started out doing that and moved into IT, like system administration, some Microsoft stuff, then moved into different networking from Cisco, Juniper, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, etc. And moved from, entry level certifications as far as
So
like,
what were some of those entry-level certifications that you started with?
actually, my first certification was my MCSE. So Microsoft Certified System Engineer. It's not an entry level cert, but if
No, it's
I was,
not.
yeah, if I was to turn it around, if I was to start now again as an entry level person, I would do probably your A plus, Network plus, Security plus, and then maybe even a Cloud plus. I've been thinking about that one lately because now cloud's so massive today, right?
Right, yeah.
So the Cloud plus, I think, should be on that list of maybe instead of top three,
Of
top
your basics?
yeah. Because instead of going to Azure or AWS or Google Cloud, etc., if you have the fundamentals of how type 1, type 2 hypervisors work and cloud communication and hybrid cloud, private cloud, public cloud, all these different kind of cool things, it's easier to have that fundamental knowledge. I haven't taken that certification. I don't have Cloud Plus, but I think I might do it. Even though I have AWS, I'm an Azure expert. I have certain certifications, but the cloud, I might do it just to have it.
Did you ever get your Linux Plus?
Yes, I have my Linux Plus.
Because that was another one. Because I got my A plus, Network Plus, Security Plus, and my intentions after that was to get my Linux Plus. And would you like count that as one of those beginning certifications that you should start with?
It's definitely, I don't think it's an entry level cert. I think because when I took my Linux Plus, I took it, I don't know if they do it anymore, but I have like LPIC 1 and LPIC 2, and then they gave me my SUSE. So when I took my Linux Plus, they gave me 4 certifications in one. So CompTIA was, I guess they were just partners, whatever. And I don't know if they do that anymore. I did my Linux Plus. Linux Plus is up there.
You have a date on there? How long ago was that? Is that one of your ancient ones?
Yeah, it's one of those.
That's the cloud.
I think it's actually on
Right.
my I think it's actually on my LinkedIn. But it was years ago because all my CompTIA ones were probably 8 to 10 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, so I got those certifications, and then I led into some Cisco, all the way up to CCIE. I have a CCIE in routing and switching. It expired. It did expire, so I'm not a true CCIE anymore because I let it expire. But then I went to.
How do you renew that anyway?
The CCIE, you do one lab,
Okay.
and every 2 years you have to take the written again. So, which I didn't do it because I didn't
Is
want
it a
to.
full written exam or is there like a renewal exam? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah. So
different type of.
So now, like if you get your CCIE Enterprise, right? Enterprise is the equivalent to the routing and switching, because there's no routing and switching anymore. Cisco reamped all their certifications in February. And so if you take your core exam, now it's like to get your CCNP, it's only 2 exams. I think it's on core, and then like you have a specialization certification and advanced routing. And then that gives you the written equivalent to CCIE written. And then you can go take the physical lab. I did mine in North Carolina. You go, it's an 8-hour exam, you're labbing it up. You're in a terminal, you troubleshooting, and it's a hardcore lab. Sometimes I regret I didn't let it expire because I didn't want to do it. I totally just forgot about it because I wasn't working with Cisco at that time. I just totally just left it. And it's right up there, my CCIE. And I have my plaque somewhere. I don't know where it is, but yeah, so those certifications were some good ones. And then I went into the security space when I was in undergrad, and then I got a bachelor's and a master's degree in IT security.
So you did get a degree, and we went to a 4-year.
I have 3 degrees. I have 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's. Yeah.
Okay.
So then during my grad school, that's when I did my CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker, ECSA, LPT, Licensed Penetration Tester, Certified Hacking Forensics Investigator, and then my CISSP. And those certifications were...
So you really were diving into security then?
When I was doing my master's, yeah, because those were like electives. Like I needed to get my certification in order to pass the course.
Right.
And then last year, the latest certification was my Azure one. I did that in December of 2019. And then before that, I did my OSCP. And that was a very hard exam.
This guy's just got certifications for days, huh, Dion?
Yeah, it's the same, man.
But yeah, like I did the OSCP. Yeah, I did my OSCP. More of a self-satisfaction thing because I wanted to see if I can do it.
Right.
Because in my heart, I didn't think I was at that level.
What did that exam entail? Like, what did it look like?
Actually, there's an NDA actually, but you have 5 exams you have to penetrate. You have to hack. You have to compromise. You have to get root access. And
non-disclosure agreement for anyone that.
Yeah.
So
you can just go on offensivesecurity.com, look at the PWK outline or their syllabus or their blueprint or whatever, and you can check.
Well, how long was the exam?
24 hours.
24 hours. I think that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
24-hour exam.
Yeah, it's 24 hours. So you have 24
only
hours.
the exam or everything?
The whole exam. So so the hacking part, the whole compromising wasn't as hard as I thought. The SQL injections and the buffer overflows got me a little bit because I don't do those every day.
Was there some cross-site scripting on there too?
Yeah, there's some SSL, XX. Yeah, cross-site scripting. Yeah, it's a tongue twister. And then
I just ordered a shirt from my hacker tag.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so that was a hard exam for me. Thank God, like they don't tell you if you pass right away, you submit it. So the part I thought I failed was writing up the pen test report, because at the end you have to write up.
Right. Yeah. Like an official report, as if you were there at a company.
Exactly. And I'm not good at that. Till to this day, like I'm not good at documentation. Documentation has never been my forte. Everything is just in my head.
Right.
But yeah, that's me. And one thing I want to say thank you to Dion, because he did a little giveaway, and I was the lucky star, and I got.
That was the Instagram giveaway right there?
The Instagram.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thanks, Dion. I can't wait to check this out and try it out. And
what is it?
No worries, man.
It's from High Power. It's a cool thing. If you want to know more about it, look, this man has his own. And if you want to know more information about how to get this, reach out to Dion. He can give you some links. He can give you the power of the Wi-Fi pen testing.
Exactly.
We'll have links to.
I always use this one. It's twice as powerful as the alphas.
Exactly. Like I have an
alpha. The alpha is nice.
Yeah. I have an alpha, but it blew up. I'll show you guys my alpha. Breaking my whole place. But yeah, this is my alpha.
I have that same one.
Yeah, this is my alpha.
Isn't that a duo channel?
Yeah,
2.4 and 5.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
and, except that it blew up.
Yeah, it smells like you burnt toast. But yeah, Cool, man. Like, I can't wait to try this out. And that's a little bit about my journey. If you guys want to know more about me, just hit me up on social media down below, whatever. If you want to know about different technologies to learn, I'm pretty broad about my technologies. I know a lot about a little. So a little about a lot. I don't know what that's saying, but I know my spectrum is very wide, but very, very shallow. So yeah, so hit me up, and I'm doing a Windows Server 2019 course on Udemy. That should be out probably in the next month or so. I'm putting together as best as I can to understand Windows Server from the beginning to advanced topics, from setting up an Active Directory, what is a FSMO role, what is DNS, how DNS works, how does forwarders work, root hints, the whole shebang, you know. So look out for that. I'll keep it up.
And I know that you've been posting a lot of those Windows videos on your YouTube channel,
Yeah,
and we'll include links. So we'll include links below for past YouTube channel. I know Dion's got a YouTube channel. All of our Instagrams. We're all pretty active on Instagram. So if you want to get a hold of us,
Yeah, sure.
ask us any questions. I think Instagram's the way to go, but we have other spots too. You're using your Twitter right now, Pat?
Yeah, I use Twitter.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I know you're LinkedIn.
Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll pass the microphone to our man Dion. So go ahead, D.
How'd you get into this? How'd you get started?
By Google. I just started with Google, man. I was watching TV and I saw the TV show from Vice. It was Cyber War, and I believe that they threw down a power net. I was like, what? That's so cool. But I always thought the hacking was like what you see in the movies, you know, smashing your key, smash the enter extra hard, and then you're in. But it's nothing like that. So I started some Googling and saw some videos on YouTube. For me, it was, well, it was way too hard. So I started my course, certified ethical hacker. And yeah, I'm here now, and I do know a lot more than when I started. A lot more.
Did you earn that certification, the CEH?
No, not yet. I'm halfway. I'm about halfway now. So
what certifications would you like to get? Like, what's something like, what is your ultimate goal? Like, okay, an achievement, even if it's not for a career, if it's just for you, for your self-satisfaction, what is something you need?
CCNA.
CCNA?
Yeah, I do need that one. I don't
know.
I also
to get that one for a while.
Yeah. I think I want to do some more programming. Python, for example, maybe Java. Could always be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I do it step by step, and I see where it goes.
Cool.
It's not
Python is definitely on my list as well.
Yeah, it's not that I have anything planned. It's more, okay, now I have time for this, so I will do this.
Yeah, Python is huge, especially like if you want to get CCNA now, like all the the network automation. You have Postman, you have Ansible, you have Puppet, you have Python. There's like so much automation now, and that's one thing it bites me in the butt, because when I was in undergrad, I was like C++ and all this stuff. I'm like, I passed because I had to pass. I didn't pay attention, you know. And it's like I never really wanted to learn programming because I'm like, I want to be a hardware guy. I like to configure the servers, rack and stack the routers, and stuff like that. And now it's like this, like a round robin. Now it's biting me in the ass because now I need to learn it to automate processes. Like the other day, I had to configure some stuff for Active Directory, right?
Yeah.
But you have PowerShell in that world. So same concept. Like we had PowerShell. Like
just writing like automation scripts.
Yeah. So like for logon script, and so a logon script, so you can batch, like configure network mappings, like the old school way you write a batch file. And now the new school way is like PowerShell. And also like we're adding users to Active Directory. Like we had like 10 new users that we had to set up. Instead of going to Active Directory, you can have a CSV file, an Excel spreadsheet, and you can just like dump it in and write a little piece. Obviously everyone cheats. I don't know PowerShell off the top of my head. I just take a template and just change the syntax. And I just copy, paste, and execute. And it does it. You go to Active Directory, holy moly, they're all there, instead of like actually doing it. Right. So it's very, very powerful tool. and to join computers to a domain, you can do answer file. It's such a crazy thing because I'm so used to the old school way that actually, like Jeremy, like he likes physical gear. Like same thing with me. Like I don't like automation because I like to know what I'm doing instead of just click on something and does it automatically. And what did it just do? To configure all those VLANs, to configure those routes, to configure those IPs on those interfaces, etc. And it's like, who knows? Now you still have to do a show IP route, show IP interface brief, or whatever the command is to see what interfaces that you're configuring. At least I do. Even if I'm going to write a Python script or Ansible or whatever, I'm still going to verify. You know, I'm not going to take what my script did, you know,
and not double check your work.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah.
It's the last thing. I need to send out this router to the client, and it's like, my interface just says no IP address. I'm like, oh snap. But yeah, so that's cool. So CCNA is huge. You should definitely do. You know, then you have the networking stuff, and
Exactly.
And that'll be even more valuable candidate for companies because, you know, not only you can do pen testing, you can do vulnerability assessments, etc. Now you can understand how those layers work at layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, etc. So all the layers.
Well, you've already got a lot of like as far as like Linux stuff going on your Instagram. I know that you use Kali Linux a lot.
Me?
Yeah.
Kali
Linux,
yeah. I'm using Kali Linux. I do use it, but personally I like Parrot more.
You like Parrot more?
It's all the same. It works all the same. Terminals
are
the same. So.
Yeah, because I know that we were just talking about the Linux Plus, and Pat earned his Linux Plus, but you know a lot about Linux, and you didn't even use a certification in order to learn it. So how did you learn it?
No, not at all. I just Googled a lot.
Right.
Then, literally the most I know, it's all from Google, YouTube, watching videos, writing it down, writing it over. Yeah, if you want to learn it, there's always a way to learn, you know, and it's not that you need a certification to understand it. You can just Google it up and you'll find it.
Right.
Whatever you want to know, it's online.
Totally, and I agree with you 100%. And the one thing, like, if you don't want to, how do I say this? Like, if you want to get a job, that's where, like,
then you need
the certification is very helpful just to get in the door. Because there's a lot of people they call them paper certs, right? So there's guys that just test on a dump. They go on a dump is get certified in a week, and then you can say I'm a CCNA.
They just get their name on those certifications.
Yeah, and then you ask them. I've had this plenty of times, and like you ask them, what is ping? What is ICMP? If you're a CCNA, you should understand what a three-way handshake is, or what is. If you have even like networking, you should understand what DHCP is, right? The DORA, discover, offer, etc. Request and acknowledgement. So, you know, you should understand how those things work. But if you ask someone that has an MCSE or CCNA or MCITP, those certifications on now, like, and if you understand those theories, or what if you, like an interview I had, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, I remember, just before I was working at the cloud company, because remember, when you're an interviewee, you still have to interview at least I do. Like, if you're interviewing me, I'm going to interview you too and see what your knowledge is, because I'm reporting to you. You better know more than me.
Right.
That's my thing.
If you're going to be working for them.
Yeah. But not like if it's a CEO or something like the company I'm working for now, I'm the highest in IT, right? Like I report or whatever my things to the CEO. Obviously, they're not going to know more than me in the IT space. But if I'm like working for someone and for an example, I'm just going to throw crazy numbers. If you're making $100,000 and you're offering me $60,000, you better sure enough know more than me, because I'm not going to be working for someone that makes more than me and that knows less than me. Hell no. That doesn't. I feel weird about that. But so, you know, it's the end of like, oh, what kind of environment you're running? What is your, you know, you have data centers, so what are you guys using for SD-WAN, or what is your WAN links? You know, whatever you're using, Metro, Ethernet, or whatever, layer 2 at the layer 2 side. And they're like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like, you're a dum-dum, you know? And I'm not going to work for you. So I'm not going to report to someone that doesn't know what can I even converse with them about. But yeah, man, so it's definitely important. The certification definitely holds value, and you can sell yourself better because you have Linux experience, you know, all these, you can you know, one thing about your video that you just posted about the wireless penetration testing
Oh
is
yeah.
awesome, because you can easily just say, hey, thank you guys, this is how you do it, you know, arrow dump, blah blah blah, and all these commands. Like, what is minus T? You said, okay, minus T is the channel, or SBBID, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, BSSID.
Yeah, this is the SSID that we're trying to. This is the MAC address, etc. Instead of just like writing a command, like not explaining what you're doing.
The A2 is the W2 handshake.
Exactly. Then you can see the handshake, and then you compromise the handshake, and then you put that in a cap file.
Yeah, I think if you run the command, you need to understand the command, and it's not like, oh, give me the magic commands, you know. I think if you want to do it, you need to understand what you're doing, because otherwise at the point you can get so fucked up if you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
You know, oh yeah, I saw a command on the internet, so I'm gonna put it in like, yeah. Like,
and it's funny because people run these commands. I remember, and I was one of them.
Oh yeah, I told someone with the RM minus RF.
I remember I was so. I remember it was like for what is that? I don't remember that tool now. The DOS attack tool.
Sir. GoldenEye?
No, it's like an acronym. Oh my god, I can't even think of it now.
Xerxes. Could be Xerxes.
Oh my god. So,
are you guys even hackers?
No man. I just pretend to be one. I steal my photos from the internet and post it on my Instagram.
So watermarking those things.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
See that. IO. Oh my god. I forget.
So,
well, someone's gonna leave it in the comments, and then
the low orbital cannon.
Yeah, that one. So
low orbit ion cannon.
Yeah. So you put the IP address and you just do a DOS attack, right?
Exactly.
I remember seeing this thing like 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let's do this. And I did it against like a website. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just sending a whole bunch of SYN packets. Like,
is that what it does? It sends SYN packets?
Yeah.
It sends a lot of packets.
Yeah. It's like a bot.
Yeah.
And but now, you know, you just go, you can buy a bot. You can log onto a server and just use that as a bot now. You know,
or Buddhas.
Yeah.
Buddha, and yeah, you get a list of
yeah.
Nothing special anymore.
Exactly. But back then it was like, I found this thing, I forgot what, I was watching some, I don't know.
You just started taking down websites, huh, Pat? Just like click.
And then literally it was like what do they call them? Script kiddies. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like writing commands.
Yeah, but that's the thing. What most people do when they start, they're gonna look for DDoS tools, how to hack Instagram, how to hack Facebook.
Yeah.
They ask that.
Oh my God.
You know, if they're looking for that, you know they're at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what else? What else we got for these people? You know, like I said in the beginning, man, like if you guys have any topics that you want to talk about, we can do like a little guests and sort of like a podcast type deal.
Right. Yeah, I meant to mention that in the beginning. We'll have guests on here too.
Throw some requests in the comments. You know.
Right. Definitely.
Definitely.
So Dion, just a little bit more. It's mostly like a hobby for you?
Yeah.
Most of this stuff? It's not like your intention is to like start working in this field.
Yeah, I'm thinking about working in it someday. But at the other end, it's now a hobby. So I like to do it when I want to do it.
Right.
And not when I have to, you know. If I want to work in it, it's not a hobby anymore. It's a job. And I don't know if the fun's still there if I do that.
Yeah, that's understandable. So I think we said this in the last video, but I think your mic was a little distorted. But
yeah, it was. Yeah.
So right now, so like you said, that's as a hobby, right? You know, and maybe you can always just do that as a hobby and get into the IT field, right? Like you said, you want to do CCNA. Maybe you can do routing and switching. Maybe you can do firewall administration. Maybe you can do something.
Yeah, sysadmin or something.
Yeah, sysadmin.
I was thinking about that too.
Firewall admin, so you understand. Because even though you can do like defense work, and then on the end, you know, you can do, you know, red team, blue team, purple teaming. So you can actually go on different sides of the spectrum.
Exactly.
And for your hobby, you can, do more of in-depth pen testing. And then like as a job, you can do like firewall stuff and routing and switching and sysadmin stuff, just so you're fresh in the mind. Because how can you hack Active Directory, right? With AD Recon or Bloodhound or any of these things where you don't even know what a SAM database is.
Exactly. You need to understand what you're targeting.
Yeah. So that'll be something good to get more into your sysadmin stuff. Yeah, I know you're a big Linux guy, but I think that's something, friend to friend, I think you should maybe set up some labs doing some more Windows type stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, and if you want offline, we can do like Packet Tracer, get some Cisco stuff on your belt if you don't, I don't know your financial stuff, your financial situation, but, you can start for free learning about routing and switching, VLANs. And then you can incorporate Kali Linux into that. You can do like VLAN hopping, do little hacks against, your routers and switches and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Like doing stuff like MAC address spoofing and cam table overflow attacks and doing all these cool little things. And it's pretty cool stuff. And
because you don't often do those for when you work for somewhere. And that's just funny you guys mentioned that, because that's like exactly what I want to do, is because right now I'm an electrician and I'm not really learning any of the basics, fundamentals, or anything as far as networking or the stuff that I'm trying to get into. Because my end goal, it would be cool to get paid for penetration testing.
Yeah,
right?
That would be fun.
It would, right? But
same for me, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the sooner that I get into IT and at least learning, so like, because I'm at work 8 hours a day. That's 8 hours where I could be learning more about like a corporate network, more about virtualization of some sort of just anything related to it, where I can apply that knowledge to my hobby of penetration testing or whatever I want to learn when I get back home,
Yeah.
As an electrician, I don't really get to do that. It's fun. I love my job. Don't get me wrong. But I want to start getting into something that I can apply to the things that we're learning here, and exactly like Pat said, like if you're working at like a corporate space where you can start learning about these different things, how they're interconnected and how they work, you can start learning how to break it, and how to get into it.
Because you have all these kids like hacker kids. Yeah, it's easy to do public. And that's the thing about a lot of penetration testing and a lot of these hackers, they do a lot of external pen tests, right? From the outside perimeter. I can never say that word, perimeter, whatever. Like the external stuff. But now, how can you intrude and get pivoting into the inside? And that's what I love about this guy, the cyber mentor, Heath Adams. Like, he said this, and I agree with the guy 100%. I don't know him. One day I'll get to talk to him, but like he talked about Active Directory, so like real day-to-day stuff, not like, okay, let's take down my hackthisite.org or VulnHub VMs and hack the box and all these stuff that, yeah, it's cool to learn it, but you just, you can just do that with Metasploitable. And you set up a VM and you can just hack it all day, but really get into the nitty-gritty of, stuff that you're working on every day. Like, how can I do pivoting? How do I do all these different kinds of attacks and stuff like that? So I think that's pretty intriguing. Like,
Heath has got some really good videos. I definitely follow his YouTube channel, and he's been coming out with some really good content on Udemy as well.
Yeah, I think it's number one. Like number one is like, he just did a Windows privilege escalation.
Yeah, he did a privilege escalation course.
Yeah,
recently.
I haven't.
He has some good deals on it too.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
I can always check them out.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we could talk offline about that. But yeah, so I would definitely love to check his stuff out, because the guy is knowledgeable. Like, and it's crazy his story. You know what I mean? It's like,
I think he was an accountant.
Accountant of finance.
Yeah, he does. I saw the video, the complete pen testing course.
Zero to hero.
He said, "Screw this, I'm out."
And he said in this video that he was doing the security stuff for 3 years or so. And there's a company in it. And
yeah, now he has like
it's really fun, man.
His own pen testing company is doing his own thing.
Right.
And it's awesome, because he's only been doing it, and he got a lot of certifications in a short period of time as well.
Yeah,
I think he's been doing it for like don't remember how long he said. I don't think it's in the double digits yet. I think it's
I don't think
less
so
than
either.
10 years.
No, not at all. A couple of years.
Yeah.
I believe 3 years or so, maybe 5.
Yeah. And the guy is awesome. And I love his,
Yeah, great guy.
his persona, his way of talking. The guy's just,
Yeah.
hopefully one day, Heath, if you want to chat, man, I'm
I was gonna say we're gonna get him on these Cyber Talk Saturdays one of these weeks.
Oh yeah, that would be an honor.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. From obviously his videos, he seems like a very personable guy. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, and who else is out there that that's good, that's mentoring the community?
Got a few of them. We got Pat Gorman over there with his YouTube videos coming out all day long. No, but for real, those have helped me too. Both you guys have helped me a lot. I know that when there was one time when Dion was showing me, I think it was for the phone split one, and he was just like, I was at work and he just message after message, like bombing me with these screenshots. And, like,
I was bombing you with
I'm just like, dude, it's so interesting. I want to learn, you know what I mean? But I'm at work right now, Dion. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
And same with Pat.
Yeah,
you guys really go out of your way in order to help out. And that's what I love about this community is people that really will take their times to break it down and explain because, it can get a little weary, you know what I mean? Coming into this, not knowing anything. So when you're new, that's was a big thing for me was just creating a social media and not only to like get myself out there, but in order to meet other like-minded people and start learning. Because you get the help. The community is it's so weird. You would think that a bunch of hackers are just out here to like screw each other over and hack each other, but
no, not at all, man. Not at all.
It's not the case. Like a lot of people, all the people that are into IT, like they're really, really willing to help each other out. At least if you put off those vibes.
It's funny that you say that because I've had, I don't know, like if it's different areas of IT, because remember, IT is so broad, right?
Right.
Yeah,
so like I remember working for a company many, many years ago. And I was not the newbie, but I was probably like intermediate. Like I was like at a CCNA level. I think I was studying for my CCNP at that point. And, but remember, like, I think I've said this in plenty of videos, Microsoft and Windows is where I came from, right? Like that's my bread and butter. Right? I'm pretty proficient with Windows and servers and sysadmin, system engineering type stuff, virtualization, VMware, etc. And I remember just asking this guy just a simple question. Like, I think it was about like EIGRP, understanding like just a, different, what is the difference between like a distant vector, just different things that I was trying to learn back then. And he was just like, oh, like very, very close-minded.
He didn't want to share his knowledge or what?
Yeah, he was just very, and it happened one day, and I think I posted something on my LinkedIn, probably 7-8 years ago, when I was doing my first, I'll be 35, so it was probably 11 years ago, probably now. It's like 24, 25, and time flies. So I was trying to migrate, and this is when 2008 server just came out, not even R2, just plain old 2008 server. And I was going from a 2003 server to a 2008 server, moving what's called the FSMO roles. So we were moving some FSMO roles, and I did everything, but it wasn't working, right? Mm-hmm. And I just forgot one step, and you have to register the schema, the schema.dll. You have to it's like reg 32 space schema, whatever. And without that, you have to add the plugin, you have to MMC, you have to add the Active Directory schema, and blah, blah, blah. And I just forgot that. Like I was just going through, adding the roles and adding Active Directory domain services, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, dude, like I'm not able to, if I do net down query FSMO, like and do net down query, whatever, that queries all the network domain stuff within your Active Directory FARS. And I wasn't moving over. I wasn't able to move over the last two FSMOs. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, you're like the senior guy here, dude. Like, I don't know, obviously, because it's not working. We have to get this server decommissioned by tonight. And he wasn't willing to help me. He goes, you took on the project. like do it yourself, like pretty much like that. Maybe he's used different words, but he was an absolute wanker.
What a dick.
Yeah.
And literally, like I had to like Google, I probably Googled it back then, or I don't remember exactly. But then I found this little register.dll file. I'm like, I'm just gonna run this command. If I blow something up, I'll fucking blame this guy. You know what I mean? He didn't want to help me. He's a senior guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I ran it, and then I was able to move the last 2 FSMOs, and then everything was on the new domain controller. And it's funny that this all happened because about 2 weeks ago, someone reached out to me on my LinkedIn. I guess he was following my videos about the 2019 server playlist. And he was asking me about, he had a 2003. I'm like, damn, 2003 and 2020, mean gear. That thing is pretty bad. But he's like, oh, you know, I want to be able to migrate my 2003 server to 2019, but you can't just do a full jump. And I literally walked them step by step. And this is what you should create your first domain controller, 2012, and then 2012 R2, and move to 2019, and then just create it as a domain controller, you know, put it into your forest, and then, you know, do pretty much how you do it. And he literally was super, super grateful. And it's like, he said he asked his community, I guess on Reddit, or I don't know what he used for his little community. And he's like, no one would want to help me. Everyone said like, just install a new server, and just like very plain Jane answers, not like really nitty gritty.
Or like Google it yourself.
Yeah. And I don't know, that answer, you know, unless like you're an absolute asking something outrageous, like crazy on this Instagram, right? But if you're asking a single question about something that, if it's easily Googleable, whatever, like if you easily just Google it, like, okay, what is a FSMO role? You know what I mean? Or
Google it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What is a 24-bit subnet? How many hosts can you have in this one? You know, like something that can be like, okay, you can just look at a cheat sheet. Oh, great.
Yeah, type it in Google and you have your answer.
Yeah.
But if it's more like how to do something.
Yeah, like nitty gritty.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's a legit question, I'm always willing to help.
Yeah, exactly. So, so there are still some people out there. I guess it's more the old timers that are set in their ways. They're stagnant. They're nervous about their career because they don't know, you know,
how technology is ever changing every single day.
So,
right.
Yeah, so I think that's super critical for everyone, you know, and that's circles back to what James said, like about knowing, willing to learn, willing to help it's critical.
You gotta be just as willing to learn as you are willing to help is what I've learned from all of this, you know.
Yeah,
if you get some knowledge, you got to be willing to share it, and when you share it, it's just a lot easier to start taking on more things. You'd be surprised what you'll learn from people that know less about you.
Oh, I learned so much from the others. So much.
So it looks like we're wrapping up, guys. We're gone a little bit over right now.
Yeah, someone was late this time.
Yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to throw in this? I know I didn't touch too much on mine of how I got into IT. But it was a lot about what Pat was talking about my those 3 certifications, my A+, Network Plus, Security Plus. I'm still working on getting a job in this field, but of course we're gonna have more videos. I'll have one up that regards exactly that, you know what I mean, as far as my journey. But if you guys have any other ideas for topics that you want us to cover, maybe we'll actually stay on topic one of these weeks. And and like if you guys want to come and chat with us, you know what I mean, I'm pretty sure Zoom you can have how many people can you have on one of these meetings? We could have just a huge group.
20?
Yeah, get on one of our channels and and chat with us. So I think that's it.
So let's wrap it up, and thank you so much again. Like, my name is Patrick. We have Dion and James, and this is awesome. And I really enjoyed this journey, you know, this whole Nerd Saturday talks, chat, whatever the hell we want to call it.
Yeah, this is fun, man.
And so, you know, it's good to learn more about people, and networking is awesome. So
don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll have all of our handles, tags, all that stuff in the comment section below, in the description below.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, maybe we'll make a little poll about topics. Like, okay, you want to, you know, talk about this topic, resumes, you know, IT careers, how to, whatever, and just, you know, maybe we'll do 3 topics. We don't want to go too crazy. 3 topics. And whatever gets the most votes.
Something that we can cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't ask me about how to skin a cat, because I haven't done that. But yeah, man. So thanks again for everyone, and like you said, leave a comment below, subscribe to our channels, and show us support.
Right. Sweet. Thanks again, guys. See you next week.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Take care, man.
Later.
See ya.